President Biden spoke with the leaders of France, England, and Germany about reviving the Iranian nuclear deal. According to reports, Iran no longer demanding that the U.S. remove the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps from its list of state terror organizations. And the European Union plans to lift sanctions on Iranian oil. Florida Congressman Michael Waltz would have to be part of anything that approved any decision that approved this. He joins us now. So according to Al Jazeera, this is what's in the EU plan. They reported on this on Saturday. 150 Iranian financial entities and 17 banks would be removed from the sanctions list. South Korea would release $7 billion worth of Iranian frozen assets. Iran would be allowed to sell oil as well. And in exchange, Tehran would immediately and then gradually roll back nuclear advances that it's made over the years. As I pointed out, any decision on this has got to go through Congress. Where do you stand on this?
Yeah, thanks. Well, I think the first question I have, and I think many Americans have, is what the hell are we negotiating with them for in the first place, as we uncover plot after plot to assassinate a former president, assassinate former officials, indict an Iranian IRGC operative for planning to assassinate John Bolton, and now journalists and activists that they're also going after. Oh, by the way, they're holding American citizens hostage in Tehran right now as we speak. So I think all of those things should be cleared up before we negotiate at all. But here nor there, every time, John, we seem to go to the table, the Iranians come with new demands, and Biden's negotiators come with new concessions. And remember, we're not even negotiating directly with the Iranians. It's through the Russians, of all people. And the Russian negotiator remarked on Russian TV that the Iranians have received far more than they ever expected. So you're going to see those billions flow, as Al Jazeera is reporting, through sanctions relief on Iranian banks, corporations, even the supreme leader. I think they've worked around the IRGC issue coming off the terrorism list by lifting secondary sanctions, which means American businesses still can't do business with IRGC, but the rest of the world can. And then finally, the thing that reportedly I think is just frankly unconstitutional is that the Iranians are worried a future administration, likely either a Trump administration or a Republican administration, will tear up the deal like President Trump did. So they want to be compensated. The Iranians want to be compensated if that happens. You know what? If you want a deal to be permanent, it's called a treaty. You take it to Congress in the Constitution and you craft a deal that 2/3 of the Congress will agree with. So, I don't think we should be negotiating at all. This is worse than the JCPOA, the first Iran deal. And if you want it to be permanent, you come to Congress. And then finally, John, there is a law in the books called INARA, the Iran Nuclear Agreement Review Act, that says it has to come to Congress for a 30-day review. And if Congress doesn't agree, you can't lift sanctions. So as far as I'm concerned, they're in violation, the Biden administration's in violation of that law right now if they go through with the deal.
Yeah, let's go to another part of the world, and that is Russia. The daughter of one of the people who's inside Vladimir Putin's inner circle, Alexander Dugina, his daughter was killed in a car bomb outside of Moscow in the last couple of days. It's likely believed that that car bomb was meant for Alexander Dugina. The Ukrainians have said, hey, we didn't have any part of this, even though Ukrainian partisans have been using car bombs to kill Russian officials inside Ukraine. What effect do you think this might have on the war?
Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of this yet, John. This could be internal. This could be internal to Russia in terms of maneuvering around Putin's inner circle. This could be a false flag to blame on the Ukrainians. So not sure what effect it'll have. The thing I'm watching most closely right now that has the hair on the back of my neck standing up is a potential fight over the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. The Russians reportedly are moving to take it offline, which would cut off electricity to 30% of Ukraine. That means Zelensky is going to have to take it back or face the destruction of what's left of his country. And an offensive or a battle with artillery around this nuclear plant that's the largest in Europe, that could unleash radiation all over Europe if it gets hit, should have all of us incredibly concerned. And that's why we need military advisors at a planning level to help the Ukrainians craft this offensive if they decide they have to take that plant back. But letting them do it on their own has me very, very concerned.
No question that that is a real problematic situation. Congressman Michael Waltz, always good to spend time with you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, John.